Hey, welcome to part 3 of my video series on creating a MERN CRUD app. So in the last video, we created our React app. And we got everything working, but we did everything in one file and it got a little messy. So in this video, we're going to break it down into separate components and we're going to organize our state a little bit better. So if you haven't seen the first video, go back and watch it. And if not, we're going to pick up right where we left off and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's get right into it. Welcome back. In the last video, we left our React app looking like this. So we can delete nodes, we can create them, we can update. So everything's working pretty good, but we just did everything in one file. So we got all our state, functions, everything just all mixed in right here. And a big part of React is being able to break stuff up and keep things organized. So we're going to focus on doing that in this video. So let's get started. Let's create a new folder in our source folder called components. And then let's drag our app component inside that folder. And then when we do that, we have to update the path inside of index. So go to index, find where it's importing. And now it's components/app. So save that, go back, everything still looks good. And let's start creating new components. So let's create one for our notes section right here. So I'm going to create a new file. I'll call it notes.js. And then let's create a component. So export default function notes. Open it up, and then it's going to return all this stuff. So let's cut this out, paste it in here. Go back here and let's render this component we created. So let's start typing it. And it's going to suggest the import right here. I'll click it. It's going to import it above. And then I'll just close the tag. And now we're going to get some errors. So we're running our component, but that component doesn't know what notes is. It doesn't know what delete node is, and it doesn't know what toggle update node is. So there's a few ways we could get this data to that component. Probably the classical way to do it is just pass it as props. So we go notes is equal to notes, delete node or update node is equal to update node, and just pass everything. But that's going to get annoying because, say we pass those three things, then in here we're going to create, a note component, and we got to pass it again, and it just becomes annoying. So usually people will use kind of some global state. So there is a way to do it in normal React. You can use the context API, but to be honest, I find it a little confusing and it's not great. But that's one option, and most people just use a library for this. So there's Redux, there's MobX, and the one I really like and think is the best is this one right here called Zustand. I think that's how you say it. So it's super small and it's just really easy to use. Like, here's how you create a store, here's how you use it. Dead simple. So we're going to use this in our project. So let's go to terminal and install it. So we'll do a new tab here, and we'll do npm install -- save, and we want Zustand. That's going to grab that package for us. There we go. Close this tab. Let's go back here, and I'm actually going to revert what we did. I'm going to go back to app and put back what we had. I'm going to delete this file. And yeah, we're back to how we started. So now we're going to basically take all our state and functions and move it into what's called a store file. So let's create a new folder. We'll call it stores. And then let's create a file within that folder called notes store. And this file will just be responsible for handling all state associated with notes and the functions to update state and all that. So let's check out the docs. And to create a store, they have an example right here. So let's just copy that, we'll paste it in. We're going to rename ours to Note Store. And then we're going to export it at the bottom. So export default Note Store. There we go. And then let's just delete the default stuff they give us. So we got our store here, and now let's start moving over our state. So we'll go back to app, and let's just start with the notes and fetching the notes. So in here, we're going to want to place the store notes. So I'll create a key notes, and it'll be equal to null by default. And then let's create a function called fetch notes, like this. And now let's copy our function. So here's what that function does, and it's an async function. So we'll go async right here, paste it in, and here's the function. And now the only thing we have to change is the set notes. So in Zustand, you don't have to create special functions and stuff. You get this set function up here that you can use anywhere to set state. So we can just go set and just put an object and then just put what we want to change. So we want to change notes, and we want to change it to res.data.notes. So that should get our notes and set it up here. So let's go back to our app component, and we'll make it use this new function we created. So to get access to our store, if you check out the docs, it's pretty cool. You just use call it as a function, and it's going to return the state. So let's go up here, and I'll just create a new variable called store, and it'll be equal to notes store. If we just call a function right here with no arguments, it's going to get us access to all the state in the entire file. So it's not the best for performance, but it makes it easy. So we're going to do that for right now. But if you wanted specific properties, you could put a function in here and be like, oh, I just want s.fetchNotes, and it'll just get that single function. But let's just grab everything for now. So we got our store, and then let's use it. So we're going to use store.fetchNotes, and then when we're looping through the notes, we're going to use store.notes and store.notes.map. Let's see what happens. We go back to our thing, we get some errors. Note store is not defined in app.js, so I forgot to import it. So let's go back up here, start typing it again, and click the suggestion. It didn't import it. That's weird. So let's just import it. Note store from /stores/note store. That should be the right path. Let's see if that error went away. It did, and then we still got some errors in. It acts weird on Windows. We deleted this file already, so let's just restart. Whoops. I'm just gonna start that up again. It's just a Windows specific thing. I don't know what's up with that. So we deleted that file, and then in here it's saying we didn't import Axios. So let's grab that. Axios from Axios, and then it's going to yell at us about the port number. Just hit yes, and that should start up right now. So we imported Axios to fix that error, and then that other error should just resolve on its own. So there we go, we're back in business. We got our thing, but we're not getting the notes here, so let's see what's going on with that. So let's see if this function is running. So do hey, go back here, open up console, refresh, we're getting it. Oh, there it goes, it's working now. So it's calling our function and setting notes in our store file now. So let's start moving up over the rest. I'll just minimize this for now, and then next up we'll do, let's see, we took care of that one. Let's see this one, update form field. So I'm going to copy this, go back over here, put it right here. It's a function, and then let's copy in what it does right here. So it gets the name and value off the E, so we'll put E right there, and then it's setting it in our state. And in this we're using the existing state, so if we need to get existing state, we can use set a little bit different. So instead of just putting a key and value, we can put a function that receives state, and then we just return an object of what we want to change. So in our case it's .state.createForm, and whoops, we gotta put createForm here is equal to, and then we create a duplicate, and then we can override stuff below. So we want name and value right here, and that should update that. So let's delete this, and we also have to create a createForm state above. So let's go up here and we'll go createForm, and createForm has a title empty string and a body empty string. So we got our state for the createForm right here, and then we got a function that updates that state. So let's hook it up to our app. I'm going to minimize this. Let's go down to our createForm. So now we got store.update create form and store.create form.title, and the same down here. So let's go back and see if we can still type. So we got our create form that's still working with that new store. So now let's hook up this create button. So let's go back up here. So we did this one, and now we're going to do create. So let's just copy the function. Oops. It's called create note. So we'll go back here. I'll minimize that. Create note. It's equal to this function. So this looks good. This looks good. No, it doesn't look good because we need create form here. So we could try to do it in the set function like this. But inside of this set, you can't use any asynchronous stuff. So we couldn't use this promise right here. And then, so another way to get existing state from this store is to go, so we'll call it create form. And then it's just, we call it node store.get state. It's a function, and this gets all the state. So we want to get the create form property off that, so I'll put in brackets. And now we got our create form. So now this line right here will work because we have create form. And then down here we just got to set it. So let's go set. We want notes equal to this right here. And we actually need to get notes off here too. So let's put notes in. So existing notes, and then we're adding our new note. And then we got to clear the create form state. So let's do that. Create form is equal to, and then just empty strings. Paste that in. We can delete all this. So this function should be working. So let's go back here. Minimize this and let's connect it. So let's go down. Here's the create form, and I'll just change it to store.create note. So let's try that. So we go here, we type in our thing, we hit create, we get the 200 back, and that shouldn't have updated automatically. Let's try that again. Store.create note. I'm tripping, it's working right. Okay. So we did create. What's next? We got port over delete note. So let's copy this. And let's minimize that. We'll go delete note is equal to that function. And right here we're getting ID from the function right here. So we don't got to do anything there. And then we're getting the existing notes. So let's get that up here. We'll go const notes is equal to node store dot get state dot notes, and then those match, so we can just do it the newer syntax like that. So we got our notes, and then I made a mistake earlier here. We don't have to create a duplicate, we can just do notes. So we're going to filter those notes, take out the one that matches this ID, and then set the new notes. So set notes is equal to new notes. So there we go. Let's hook up our delete note function from the store. So I'll minimize that, find it down here. We got delete note right here, so now it's store.delete note. Let's go back here and try it out. We hit delete and it deletes it, so that's good. What's next? Handle input field change. So let's copy this. I'll just paste it in right here, and then I'll make that a key instead. So we're getting the value and name, and then we're using the existing state, but we're not doing anything asynchronous in here, so we can just do it the normal way. So state, it's a function that returns what we want to update. So we want to update our update form, which we haven't created yet. We'll create that in a second. And we want state update form. And then we're updating the name to value. So we'll paste that in, delete this, and let's create our update form state. So we'll go back up here, we'll go update form. I'm just going to copy this. Update form And the only difference was this has an ID that's equal to null, just as we set up in here. So we got our state right there, and then we got the field update function that should be working. So let's hook it up. Go down here, we did this one. Let's find our update note form, it's right here. So we got store.that, store.update form.title, and the same down here. Let's go back to our app, make sure we can still type in the edit form. So we can't even, oh we can. So it still works. Now let's hook up these update note functions. So let's see, we did this one. So we gotta do this toggle update function. Let's copy that. Minimize this. It's called toggle update. I copied it, so paste that in. Delete the semicolon at the end. So this gets past the note and then it just sets the state. So let's do that. So we go set and it sets the update form state. And we don't have to create a duplicate or anything because we're changing all the properties in there. So let's copy all this. We'll paste it in and let's clean it up a little bit. So we can go const and we want underscore ID, title, and body off of note. And then we can just, since they match, we can go like this. And then really we can do this all in the parentheses right here. So I'm just going to paste that in. Go like that. So now it's a little cleaner. We can delete this line down here. And then let's hook it up to our app.js. So go back here, let's find toggle update. Right here, it's going to be store.toggle update. Go back to our app, let's try it. We're almost there. So we can click update and it doesn't work. What's going on there? Let's see. So on click store.toggle update, it gets past the note and then it runs this function right here. Let's see what's going on. So let's just see if it's running. I'll go back here. Hit update, it is running. Maybe this line didn't work. Let's see. Let's log those. So we're getting those. So what's going on here? Set, and we want to change update form, title, blah, blah. I know what's going on. This is fine. We forgot to change some stuff. So this should now use the state update form. So let's go store dot. And the same with the create one. Let's try it again. We'll go back here. And now we hit update. It updates. We can change our fields. And we just got to hook up this update note function. So let's do that. We'll go back up. This is it right here. Let's copy the whole thing. Go back to our store and let's create it right here. So we got to make this a key. And then let's take a look at this. We got to get the update form state right here, so let's grab that. So we want title and body off of note store dot get state dot update form. So we can delete this line, and now we're using it right here. And we actually need the ID off this too, so underscore ID. So now I can just use that variable right in here. Send the title and body from up there too. This should work. And then down here we're updating the state. So we need the existing notes. So let's just alright, so let's go like that and we'll do it like this. So now we're getting title, body, ID off update form, and we also want to get notes. So now we got all that. So we're creating a duplicate right here still. We're finding the index. And then right here we can just use ID now since we got it right there. And then we're updating that index in the copy. And then we got to set it down here. So set, what are we changing? We're changing notes to new notes. And then we're clearing our update form. So update form. Let's just copy this in. Let's delete all these, save it. Let's go back here and see if everything works. Alright, so we can still delete. Let's see if update works. So it didn't work, so I click update and I didn't hook it up yet. So go back to app, let's go to our button, update note. Find the form, it's right here, and it's going to be store.update note. Let's go back, and now I hit update, and it doesn't work, so I'll refresh, and I broke something. Oops. So this is in our server. So we did something that actually broke the whole server, so let's just stop it and restart it. So we got that running again, and then we fixed the error already by adding this, so let's try it once more. I'll refresh, I get my notes again, hit update, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, update, and it works. So everything's working now. So now we can clean up this app component. So we got all this state moved over, and we got all our functions moved over, so we can delete all of it. So now we just got one clean file to manage all that. And then now we can break this up into separate components. So let's create a notes component. Notes.js, export default, notes. And it's going to return that. Oops. Let's go here and grab that whole section. Paste it in. I made a typo somewhere. Export the default function note store. There we go. And then in here we need to get the store, so let's grab that. Const store is equal to notes store. I gotta remember to import it. So there we go. So this should work now. We just gotta render it in our app. So note, and then just auto imports are not working in this file for some reason. I'm gonna try to reopen it. Okay, let's go back here, start typing notes. Yeah, I called it note store in here for some reason. That's weird. So we gotta call this just notes, and that'll fix the import over here. So now I start typing it, and it actually shows up. I click it, and it imports it. So let's go and make sure everything's working, and we broke it again. So let's see what's going on. So it didn't crash our server this time. Let's go to, what is going on? Oh, we don't have any notes. Duh. So we create one and it still works. So now this is the whole notes section. Let's create a component for just an individual note. So I'll go in here, I'll go components, I'll go note.js, export default function note. And it's going to return this guy right here. Let's copy that, paste it in, and then in here let's render that component. So note, and then we gotta give it our key again. So key is note._id. And then here is kind of one of the situations where you would want to pass it as a prop. It doesn't really make sense to import all the notes in here and then filter and find the one. So we'll just go note is equal to note. And then that gets passed to this component as props. So it'd be props.note. I'm just going to destructure it right in here. So I'll just go note. And then we got to get these two functions. So let's get those. So I'll show you how to get specific properties off the store. So we can go note store, import it. And this time we're going to put a function that gets store. And then let's return what we want. So we want, what do we want? We want delete note is store.delete note. And we want toggle update is store.toggle update. Save that, and I'll assign this to a variable called store. And now it should still work. Let's go back. We still got our note. That's cool. We create, it works. We delete, it works. Everything's still good. So that's cool. We got that section broken up. Let's go back to app. And let's do it for the update form now. So let's go here. We'll go update form.js. I got a little shortcut here I can use. If you want to do that, it's an app called ES7 React Redux React Native Snippets. I'd recommend it. So we got our function here. Let's copy it in. So all of this, I'll just paste it in here. And what I do wrong? So we could go like this. I don't think that's the best way to do it. Instead, let's go up here and let's go if store.updateForm._ID. Let's actually reverse it. So if that doesn't exist, we'll just return nothing. And if it does, we get to our component down here. So now we can delete this and this. And then we got to get our store in here also. So let's get it up here. Const store is equal to node store. It's a function. So this should still work. We'll go back. We have to get it in our app still. So let's go update form. Save it. Refresh. We go update. It still works. And then let's do create form also. So let's go create form. .js. I'll do my shortcut again, RFC, hit it, and you no longer have to import React. So let's copy that function. So it's all of this. Paste that in, and then let's go if, and copy this. So if the ID exists, just return nothing. Otherwise, return our form. We got to import the store in here. So let's go up here. We'll go const store is equal to node store. I didn't import it. There we go. So let's go back here. We can delete all this. Let's go create form. Save it. And there we go. We got things broken up a lot better into smaller components. And it's more organized, and we got all our state in this one file. That's easier to manage. So let's just double check everything's still working. I can create, I can delete, I can update. And there we go. It's just a lot more organized and a lot better now. So you could take it a step further. You could, maybe make these inputs a new component. You can break it down however you want, but I think this is a good place to leave off. And yeah, see you in the next video.